You ready to draw? Let's go! Let's go! Hey, welcome to Sketching with Gretchen. This video is geared towards kindergarten through 3rd grade, but really anybody can try it, anybody can do it, and there are some ways that I'll show you to challenge yourself and use some different materials. We are going to do a crayon resist. So what we're going to be using to color over the crayon is water-based Crayon markers, and I will also show you how you can use watercolor paints to achieve the same results. So this is my example of a crayon resist. Okay, here are the supplies you're going to need. A white crayon or an oil pastel that's white, a piece of paper, Crayon markers or water-based markers, and you'll want to have a piece of paper towel that's damp or a napkin that's damp. Have that handy. You can also have watercolor paints if you have those available. So what we're going to do first is fold our paper in half long ways. And when you're folding your paper, you want to match your corners up first. Sometimes it's helpful to stand and fold. But what I do, because this is probably the most challenging part for my younger kids, is I have my paper flat on the table. I grab the bottom half with my thumbs underneath the paper and I fold up. And I can move, I still have my paper in my hands, I can move and adjust the corners to get them exactly lined up. Once they're lined up, use those thumbs to hold it in the spot. And then you kind of have to walk your fingers towards the middle. Keep one hand on the paper so that it doesn't move and your corners are still matched up. Drag your other hand, drag a finger down the middle, smooth to the left and smooth out to the right and smooth out to the left. So there's your first fold. Okay, so I'll show you again. Grab the paper at the bottom, and we're doing this long ways. Thumbs underneath, fold over. You've got your paper in your hand like this, almost like you're pinching it between your fingers and your thumbs. Hold it on the table. Don't fold it like this. It's hard to control. Keep it on the table. Fold over, match up your corners, walk your fingers to the middle, drag a finger down, press to the right and press to the left. Then you're going to take it and fold it in half this way. So you're going to use the same technique. Match up the corners. Hold it down, drag your finger down, press to the right and to the left. And we're going to do this one more time. We're going to fold it in half this way, okay? Not this way. We're going to fold it in half this way. Hold it down, fold it over, match up the corners, press. Okay, this is going to give us 8 sections to work with. Now we're going to open it back up so you can see the fold lines. This is just going to help you separate it into sections. So now what we're going to do is we want to think about words that we can put in these sections. So in my example, I use the words love and hope. So think about words that would fit in these sections. You could have a word that goes across this way and continues down here. But just be creative and think about words that bring you joy, happiness. Speaking of joy, you could do the word joy here, and then you could put a heart over here. So all different things you can do. Think about that first. Once you know the words you're going to use, then you can go in and write those words down. Now, you're going to write them in crayon. And I know what you're thinking, Mrs. Bjornson, That's a white crayon on white paper. How am I gonna see that? Well, what you're gonna need to do is press really hard and color your letter and make it somewhat thick. If you hold this paper up to a window, you may be able to see what you're writing better. Or as you're writing the letter, if you hold it up to the light, turn the paper a little bit, you can see the reflection of the wax from the crayon. So you may not be able to see it. It might be fun too, just to write your words and then see how they turn out after you color over them. So I'm just gonna do love and hope again. So you're gonna wanna fill your rectangle. So make your letters nice and big and go over them several times. Press really hard. You wanna get that wax on there pretty thick. And so there's my heart, and then love, L-O-V. Try to get everything about the same size. You could even draw some pictures inside these with your white crayon. All right, and at the bottom, I'm gonna do hope. O, make my O nice and big and keep going over and over it so you make sure it's thick enough. I know you cannot see what I'm doing here. I'm having a hard time myself, but it is on there. I do know that the crayon is marking the paper. Now you may ask, why can't I do this in pencil first? But ideally, we really don't want to see any marks on the paper. If you want to write lightly in pencil to help you, you can. You just won't be able to erase it once you've got the crayon down on it. Okay, so I've got all my letters on here. Now what I'm going to do is on the top row, I'm going to show you how to do this in marker. And on the bottom row on hope, I'm going to show you how you can do this with watercolor paint. So if you have watercolor at home, you will be able to use it. So now you just have to decide what colors you want to use. And I think I'm going to start out with blue. And all you are going to do is color in the rectangle completely, going right over your crayon. And you're going to see what happens once you go over the crayon. Crayon resist means the crayon will resist the marker. So as you're coloring, your marks that you made on your paper are going to show through, and the color from the marker will not go over the color, the white of the crayon. Now it'll bead up a little bit, but that's what this paper towel is for. I'll show you once I get this green colored on here. If you want it a little more white, take your damp paper towel and just gently wipe over it just a little bit. It'll brighten up that white. All right, so I'm gonna finish the top with marker. Okay, so there's my crayon resist with marker. And now I'm going to show you the same technique, only using watercolor. Now, once this is dry, if you use markers, it's going to be dry, but if you're painting, once it's dry, you can take these and hang them in your windows, hang them on your refrigerator, just as a reminder. These are great messages to keep handy and for everyone to see. share with someone in your house how you created your work of art and what you did and the processes you used. And maybe they can try it as well. So there you go. There's your crayon resist art. We'll see you soon.